The Lubavitcher Rebbe, Rabbi Menachem Mendel Schneerson, was born on the 11th day of Nisan in 1902 in the Russian-Ukrainian town of Nikolaev. He is the seventh in a dynastic lineage that began in the 18th century, the seventh leader in what has come to be known as the Chabad-Lubavitch movement, a movement devoted to the study of Torah and the observance of its mitzvot, the dissemination of the Torah true way of life, and the celebration of Yiddishkeit for all Jews everywhere. 200 years ago, Rabbi Schneur Zalman of Liadi, a disciple of the Maggid of Mezerich, carried the spark of the Baal Shem Tov's teachings into the cities and villages of Russia and Central Europe. He inspired thousands of beleaguered Jews with his message of love, joy, and devotion. He was known affectionately as der Alte Rebbe. His famous works, the Tanya, the basic teachings of Chabad Lubavitch philosophy, and the Shulchan Aruch, the Code of Jewish Law, gave new meaning to Hasidism and Judaism. 2 years after the passing of der Alte Rebbe, his son and successor, Rabbi Dov Ber, settled in the Russian town of Lubavitch. In Russian, Lubavitch means city of love, a name that aptly describes a philosophy that stresses tolerance, understanding, and love for all fellow Jews. In the third generation of the Chabad Lubavitch movement, Rabbi Menachem Mendel, known as the Tzemach Tzedek, like the Rebbes before and after him, became involved in communal activities, notably in the rescue of Jewish children from forced conscription in the Tsar's army. He is famous for his voluminous halachic responsa and his extensive Hasidic writings and teachings. After the passing of the Tzemach Tzedek in 1866, the work to assist and educate the Jews of Russia and Europe continued with his youngest son, Rabbi Shmuel. Rabbi Shmuel labored for the social and material welfare of his people. He also made significant contributions to Jewish and Hasidic scholarship. Rabbi Shmuel's son, Sholem Dov Ber, was the fifth Lubavitcher Rebbe. He was the founder of the Lubavitcher Yeshiva. Because of his intricate elucidations of Hasidic philosophy, Rabbi Sholem Dov Ber was considered the Rambam, the Maimonides of Hasidic thought. The early part of this century was a time of tremendous political upheaval. The Rebbe led an exhaustive campaign against assimilation and exerted tremendous effort in the aid of countless Jews caught up in the Russian Revolution. On the passing of Rabbi Sholem Dov Ber in 1920, his only son, Rabbi Yosef Yitzchak Schneerson, became the sixth Lubavitcher Rebbe. He had been the personal secretary of his father since the age of 15 and was also director of the yeshiva. Rabbi Yosef Yitzchak also had a keen understanding of the new threats of Bolshevism and Nazism. He suffered through a period of imprisonment, miraculously survived a death sentence and the horrors of the early days of World War II. His heroic efforts to help his Jewish brethren under the communist regime in Russia is felt to this very day.
In my share group, where I teach kids, I teach them the beauty of lighting Shabbos candles. They don't speak English, so I told them in Russian.
Spring 1940. Rabbi Yosef Yitzchak Schneerson and his family arrive in the United States. Their ship is the SS Drottingholm, the last vessel to make the crossing before the U-boat blockade of the Atlantic. In America, there is much to be done. It must become the new tourist center to replace the ruined communities of Europe. America is no different, the Rebbe proclaims. Despite failing health, but with fiery spirit, he devotes himself to establishing Torah institutions in the United States. He pioneers in the establishment of the Jewish day school system, now in existence all over the world. Upon his passing in 1950, the leadership of the now flourishing movement falls upon the shoulders of his illustrious son-in-law. The present Rebbe, Rabbi Menachem Mendel Schneerson, was born in 1902 on the 11th day of Nisan in the Russian town of Nikolaev. At the age of 5, his family moved to Yekaterinoslav, now called Dnepropetrovsk. His father, Rabbi Levi Yitzchak, a renowned scholar and Kabbalist, had been appointed chief rabbi of the city. In Yekaterinoslav, the young Menachem Mendel quickly outpaced his tutors, to the extent that they felt they could no longer teach him. By the time of his bar mitzvah, the extraordinary young man was Schneerson. Rabbi Menachem Mendel married the Rebbe's second daughter, Chaya Musya, in 1929 in Warsaw. Later he studied at the University of Berlin and the Sorbonne in Paris. In 1941, he emigrated to the United States. His father-in-law, who had arrived a year earlier, appointed him head of Merkos Linyonei Chinuch, the educational arm of the Lubavitcher movement. He also became head of Machne Israel, the social service organization, and of the Kahat Publication Society. Soon afterward, he began writing his scholarly notations to various Hasidic and Kabbalistic treatises, as well as a wide range of responsa on Torah subjects. These works reveal the intellectual profundity of the young rabbi. In the summer of 1944, he received word of his father's passing in a remote city in central Russia. Rabbi Levi Yitzchak had been arrested in 1939 by the NKVD for spreading Yiddishkeit. His imprisonment had taken its toll. During that time, Rabbi Levi Yitzchak was comforted by the fact that he could continue his writing. His wife, the Rebbe's mother, the Rebbetzin Chana Schneerson, helped him by secretly manufacturing ink for his writing from herbs she gathered in the fields. 30 years later, the incredible manuscripts found their way to the Rebbe. To date, 5 volumes of these writings have already been published. After the passing of Rabbi Yosef Yitzchak Schneerson in 1950, Rabbi Menachem Mendel reluctantly ascended to the leadership of the Chabad Lubavitch movement. Soon, Lubavitch institutions and activities took on new dimensions. The outreach philosophy of Chabad Lubavitch was inspired by the biblical motto, "And you shall spread forth to the west, and to the east, and to the north, and to the south."
As sie sein in der letzte Tag von Golus und Parat zu Yom und Kedma, So wird so fein auf den Neckbau und das ist der Robreg in dem Jahre Haperitz Lefonein und sehr Mischiach sit keine Bekore Mamos und besimcho auf Tuvli Wov. L'chaim.
Almost immediately, Lubavitch centers began springing up all over the world. Today, there are hundreds of Chabad Lubavitch institutions serving their respective communities in every possible way. On many college campuses, the Chabad house is a home away from home for Jewish kids. Chabad Lubavitch has taken a frontline position in the battle against missionary and cult forces. The Rebbe's popular mitzvah campaigns continue to inspire Jews of all walks of life. The mitzvah mobiles, the mitzvah tanks, the tanks against assimilation are a common sight in cities and towns around the world. In 1967, during the Six-Day War, the Rebbe inaugurated his famous Tefillin campaign. He called for all men over the age of 13 to put on tefillin each weekday morning. At every possible occasion, the Rebbe urges all Jews to spread the mitzvah campaigns. He calls for a proper Torah-true education for every Jewish boy and girl. He asks that every Jewish person set aside time each day to study Torah. He appeals for mezuzot to be properly affixed to doorposts. He stresses the importance of giving charity and the enrichment of the home with sacred books. The Rebbe urges all Jewish women to observe the 3 mitzvot especially incumbent upon them. He asks all women and girls from the age of 3 to light the Shabbat and holiday candles at the proper times, that they observe kashrut, eating only kosher food, both at home and away, and to observe the laws of mikvah, of family purity. The Rebbe emphasizes the responsibility of Jewish women and their unique and vital role. He urges them to imbue their families with positive values, peace, and harmony. The Rebbe speaks about the sanctity of the Jewish family, stressing the fallacy of family planning and its disastrous consequences. Children, many children, are the greatest gift God can bestow upon us. The Rebbe is especially devoted to children, guides them and prepares them for a life fulfilled in Torah and mitzvah. To the Rebbe, the children are the tzivus Hashem, soldiers in God's army, the future of our people. The 10th mitzvah, the Rebbe stresses, is Ahavat Yisrael, a reaching out and sharing of the Torah true life with others, out of love and devotion for one's fellow Jew. Recently, the Rebbe inaugurated a massive worldwide campaign with the objective of uniting all Jews, regardless of background or affiliation, through Torah. The Rebbe revived an old tradition in which Jewish people are able to purchase a single letter to be inscribed in a Sefer Torah. 4 million Jewish men, women, and children have thus far participated in the writing of these Sifrei Torah. The campaign continues to inspire Jews all over the world as they unite through Torah. Motivated by his deep love for his people, the Rebbe has not hesitated to utilize modern technology and instant globe-spanning media to bring the ancient and eternal Torah true way of life to Jews everywhere. In a world rent with spiritual aimlessness and disenchantment, the Rebbe has made Lubavitch an anchor, a pillar of light and hope with which Jews of all classes and ages can identify. His penetrating insights and unparalleled scholarship are apparent to all who hear him speak or who read the more than 30 volumes of his talks, letters, and responsa published to date. His public addresses, lasting several hours without the benefit of notes, continue to amaze scholars and laymen alike. His unique and incisive approach, as for example to the classic commentary of Rashi, has revolutionized Bible study. To the Hasid, the Torah scholar, the intellectual, the professional, and the laborer, the Rebbe personifies the great quality of leadership with which the Jewish people have been so graciously endowed throughout their history. With profound humility, understanding, and compassion, he relates to each person in accordance with their individual spirit. His sphere of influence transcends the Hasidic community and deeply penetrates the mainstream of Jewish life. Few knowledgeable Jews in the world today are unfamiliar with his ideas and pronouncements. From Melbourne to London, Casablanca to Los Angeles, through the many Lubavitch schools, youth centers, institutions, and activities, countless lost Jews have found their way home. In his years as world leader of the Chabad Lubavitch movement, he has set into motion massive educational, social, and rehabilitative programs. These programs have kindled in hundreds of thousands an awareness of and a rededication to Torah-true Judaism. Rabbi Menachem Mendel Schneerson, the seventh Lubavitcher rabbi, has been described as the most phenomenal Jewish personality of our time. To his tens of thousands of Hasidim and hundreds of thousands of sympathizers and admirers around the world, he is the Rebbe, today's most dominant figure in Judaism, and undoubtedly the one individual more than any other singularly responsible for stirring the conscience and spiritual awakening of world Jewry.